Very much. I want to welcome everybody to this Ultimate Knowledge Conference call. Tonight we're going to be talking about short-term cleansing. And most of you will be listening to this recording and realizing that Orenda has a 10-day cleanse that is very, very unique. But tonight we're really going to get into the science of cleansing. We're going to understand the benefits of cleansing, the need for cleansing, what makes one cleanse different from another, and why we designed the Orenda 10-day cleanse to be exactly what it is. You know, tonight we have Dr. Danuta Hoyer on the line with us, and Dr. Hoyer is co-founder of the Comprehensive Center for Women's Medicine. Dr. Hoyer is board certified in internal medicine, anti-aging and regenerative medicine, and is associate professor of medicine at Rush Medical College. She's been voted a top doctor in internal medicine, preventive medicine, and women's health by Chicago Magazine for decades, and been a member of the National Center for Excellence in Therapeutic Lifestyle Change since the mid-2000s. An expert in functional and integrative medicine. Dr. Hoyer, it's a pleasure to have you with us here tonight.
Hi there.
Good to have you on the line. And I know, Dr. Hoyer, as you and I have talked about cleansing quite a bit, you've had great experience with this within your practice. And, you know, I'm just going to recap a couple of the needs just highlighted for people. You know, a lot of us really just don't realize how many toxins we're exposed to, what a toxic soup we're living in, and how important it is for us to detox ourselves within our body, and a cleanse is a big step toward that. You know, there's more than 80,000 toxins that have been introduced just in the last couple of decades in the United States. More than 800 are hormone disruptors that can really create chaos within our bodies. Inflammation is rampant within our society, and Dr. Hoyer, you see this all the time in your practice, isn't that correct?
I would say that 100% of our patients have either some level of inflammatory conditions, pain conditions, estrogen dominance in men and women, which is basically too many of those hormone disruptors in the system sitting on our little hormone receptors, and a variety of those kinds of illnesses, on top of the usual hypertension, the epidemic of prediabetes and diabetes that we see in our society. And everyone needs a cleanse. There's no such person that doesn't need one, because we're all breathing in or exposed to food and water that is tainted with pesticides and other things.
You know, Dr. Hoyer, I know that a lot of us are making one lifestyle change at a time as we're able, you know, to adjust ourselves and, you know, cook different foods, eat different foods, more plant-based in our diet and what have you. One great thing about a cleanse is we can jumpstart that whole process and experience the benefits in just a short period of time. You probably see that as well.
Exactly. I think it's hard to ask people to take something and say, okay, do this for the rest of your life. But I think you can challenge people to do something for 5 days or 10 days if you make it simple and if you make it easy to follow without too much disruption in their day-to-day functioning. If it's going to be complex or something they're going to have to spend an extra hour doing every day, you'll be unsuccessful because everybody's already stressed out about their time. And so what Clean Burn Shape does, it basically comes with a little handout. It comes with a website full of recipes. It comes with a shopping list, and it really is easy. And in our practice, we did cleanses way before we were introduced to Clean Burn Shape that were complex, that were removing certain types of food groups one by one and then adding them back in to the point where people were confused and they would give up. And then you wouldn't be able to convince them to do another one.
And if you don't have compliance, you don't have anything, do you?
Then you don't have results. And the other thing I'd say about a cleanse is this is not a once-in-a-lifetime experience. You're exposed to these chemicals and other toxins every single day, and we keep on reaccumulating things. So yes, we clean up our food supply, but you have to periodically detox. So we recommend that people do it about every season, about every 3 to 4 months. As the seasons change, you do it again. After the holiday season of Christmas and New Year's, you're ready for another one. Springtime comes, you're ready for another one. Now the fall starting is a great time again. So it's something that, you have to kind of get it into your DNA to kind of start craving these kind of foods, and this helps you do that.
Well, it certainly does. And Dr. Hoyer, as you and I were talking about this upcoming educational session here tonight, you shared something with me I was not aware of that's striking migratory agricultural workers, something called CKDU, a really extreme case of what we're all facing in a toxic world. What is CKDU and how does it relate to the average person?
So CKDU stands for chronic kidney disease, and the U is unknown etiology, meaning they don't know exactly what causes it. Well, in medicine, unfortunately, they're always trying to find the one thing, but very often it's a conglomeration of things that is causing a problem. And in Central America, over the past 10 years or so, about 20,000 young people have died from kidney failure that has been linked to people who work in agriculture, meaning they're exposed to lots of doses of pesticides, but they're also exposed to extreme heat, so they're more than likely to be dehydrated for long periods of time. So there's probably some combination of things that are going on that lead these people into kidney failure. And these are societies in Central America that do not have the wherewithal to put everybody on dialysis or kidney transplantation. So we have lots of death. We're now beginning to see that in Texas and in Florida, where we have big agricultural concerns as well. So as we talk about detox, the major organs of our body that are responsible for detoxification is number one, your liver, and then followed by your kidney and your skin. And the first organ really is the liver, which is why Clean, Burn, and Shape is so helpful, because it not only gives you the food that's giving your liver a sort of a vacation from digesting hard to digest foods, but it also is giving products that help the bile flow and help that liver present the toxin to it and make that toxin water soluble, which I'll talk about again. So basically, any kind of detox of clean eating and a program that's simple, is easy for people to follow, is good for all of us.
Now, Dr. Hoyer, there are a lot of things that claim to be cleanses out there, but they're actually starvation programs, all juices for, 15 days and that kind of thing. So some are hugely complex, some are actually starvation. The Orenda program, it is vegan, it is non-dairy, it is non-soy. It's about as hypoallergenic, as anti-inflammatory as you could possibly get. And do you find that it fits most everybody and it's more comfortable than other detoxes, which can really be tough to put up with?
That's true. I mean, the extreme ones I have no objection to an occasional fast. All of us could fast for a day with water, etc. But to basically do starvation for the general population when you don't know all of their other health issues, etc., would be foolhardy. And so you really want to give the person a diet that makes them feel like they're full and not hungry, but also know that there's something going on inside that is reducing the net load of chemicals in their body.
I have to say, the first time we put this Orenda 10-day cleanse together, I noticed the anti-inflammatory effect. All joints felt better. Now, you said something that I didn't particularly notice, but you see this in your patient's skin tone improves.
Skin clears up, acne clears up, pimples go away. People have more regular bowel habits, provided they're drinking enough water during this and doing it correctly. Their brain fog starts lifting in about the fourth day after they've withdrawn from caffeine and other things. Yes, there is some weight loss, but that is not the primary reason for doing a detox. Yes, you feel lighter around your middle, but weight loss, even a thin, quote-unquote thin person, can have a heavy load of toxin in their body. We all store it in our fat, and if you're thin, your fat is surrounding your organs. It's not necessarily in your abdomen or in your buttocks, but it's still there. The detox reduces your sugar cravings. It reduces your insulin levels. As you mentioned, joint aches go away, and which is really a good thing, because once people start eating high sugar again, if they're not careful, the joint pain comes back immediately, and then they learn something. They learn that they really have a cause and effect, and they have a reason to go back to a better diet. Every time one does a cleanse, you start craving those kinds of foods more and more frequently. So you're basically slowly changing people's lifestyle habits.
And I noticed that exact thing. It was so profoundly anti-inflammatory to me. And one of the things I developed a taste for that I never had a taste for before was V8 juice. I always thought it tasted awful. And now I think it tastes delicious. I developed a taste for it. So you've been into lifestyle change for a long time now. That's about motivation. People know what we should do. But when you experience extraordinary benefits, it really helps you to coach people into more changes that they can incorporate into their lifestyle, change their health in a long-term way.
Exactly. Well, the big carrot I hold in front of them is everybody is afraid of dementia. Everyone's afraid of getting diabetes. Everyone would like to reduce their blood pressure medications or their overall prescription load. And that is really what I think intrigues most people when you talk to them about something like this, because we have a chance to actually reduce medications. Nothing makes me happier. That makes my day to say, oh, we're reducing this medicine by half, and maybe in a month we're going to stop it. That's like, the icing on the cake for me. So I think people are aware and they're listening, and there's a lot of awareness in the media. But the things to remember is you don't want to lose muscle when you do a detox, because most of us, if we're not exercising regularly, we don't have enough muscle mass to lose. And muscle is what makes us burn calories. So if you lose too much muscle, not only do you feel weak, but then you reduce your metabolic rate. And it takes, if you have weight to lose, it's that much harder to lose weight in the future. So we want something that has enough protein in it and enough complex carbohydrates in which to balance your blood sugars, so that your blood sugar never goes into high peaks and low valleys, but it also is always in a sort of a slow little hill rise up and down. And the reason that's very important for people to understand is when you have a high blood sugar after ingesting any kind of food, your pancreas makes more insulin. Insulin is a great hormone, but it's designed to drop your blood sugar. So what do you do 2 hours after a high sugar load is your sugar is dropping and you have cravings. And you can't resist those cravings. It's not something that you can naturally resist. It's something that's built into your body to listen to your body, because you don't want to have hypoglycemia and a seizure. So you then eat again and that sugar goes back up again. So the whole idea behind careful eating so that you don't have cravings and you're eating healthfully is to not have large spikes in blood sugar. Therefore, you have very slow spikes in insulin. Your leptin levels, which is your hormone of satiation, of feeling satisfied with the food you're eating, is now at a more normal level. And you don't want to get that ghrelin hormone going up, because that's the hormone that increases your appetite tremendously. And what increases that is when your blood sugar goes down, or when you're in a starvation mode for a long time.
Well, absolutely. And, when we talk about the products now, Orenda's 10-Day is a combination of 3 products, Clean, Burn, and Shape, along with a lifestyle program that includes whole foods and lots of healthy vegetables and plant-based foods. As I said before, it's a vegan program. We're not saying you have to be vegan forever, but for a short period of time, you can experience some of the great benefits of taking inflammatory foods out of your diet. And it's non-dairy, so people that get inflammation from dairy, it's not there. And it's non-soy. A lot of people are reducing soy from their diets. It's not there as well. So this is not like those nickel-dime products that you see sometimes out there in the grocery store or the big box stores. This is a very, very high-quality program. Now, it starts out with the Clean, which is a drink that helps you to detoxify. And Dr. Hoyer, what do you like best about the Clean drink?
A number of things. I'll tell you, it has about 15 or 16 ingredients. But when you look at all the ingredients, they do a combination of things. They have minerals and vitamins in them, magnesium, selenium, those kinds of things. Some of the things like burdock root have a mild diuretic effect, so it's going to help your kidneys excrete things, of course. It has things in it that makes your bile flow within your liver into your gallbladder and into your small intestine, which helps then eliminate some of that toxicity. It also helps soothe your stomach so that you don't get indigestion and heartburn and all those kinds of things. And the taste is great. I mean, it's like having a sort of a flavored tea of some sort. It has adaptogenic herbs in it, and by that I mean these are herbs that have been known in Western and Eastern medicine for years that adapt to the body. If the body needs more soothing, it soothes it. If the body needs a little energy, it gives more energy. So it's very, very helpful. And those include ashwagandha and also suma root. It has anti-inflammatories like turmeric, which is the hot new thing now. The turmeric is really good to take as an anti-inflammatory. And it's a drink. So 1 or 2 times a day during this 10-day period, you drink this drink and, it's refreshing. It's not like, horribly tasting, stuff that you have to, hold your nose while you're drinking it. So it's cleansing. That's clean. The Shape product, which is either vanilla or chocolate flavored, is very important for people to understand 2 things about it. When you're drinking any kind of protein shake, and there are a lot of them on the market, you want to find something that has more grams of protein than carbohydrate. And that's for the same reason that I just mentioned. You don't want things that have double the carbs in a serving, because it's going to raise your blood sugar. And this is not what we want. We want a stabilization of blood sugar. So Shape has things that have a lot of fiber in them. They have superfoods that have lots of chlorophyll and algae and things like that. And it also has things that will put enough fiber in your gut so that you're not going to get constipated. That's the last thing you need when you're doing a cleanse. So the third product is called Burn. And people, will always ask me, well, do I have to take the Burn? It's got caffeine in it. I don't know. Well, it's really not a caffeine product. It is derived from green coffee, but you're looking at this thing called chlorogenic acid. And think of chlorogenic acid as something that takes the fatty acids from your fat and delivers them to your liver, and your liver can then present some of the toxins that are in this fat and make them water soluble and get rid of them. So in effect, these kinds of products can reduce your triglycerides, also probably will reduce your cholesterol along with it. But most importantly, the amount of caffeine in a serving is probably equal to a bite of chocolate. So, unless someone is so utterly sensitive they can't even have a bite of chocolate, I would say they're not going to have palpitations with it. They're not going to feel hyper with it. The other ingredient of Burn is African mango. And African mango also reduces body fat and also reduces the hormones of an insatiable appetite. So it really does things in concert, and you have a little bit of a reduction in appetite so that you are satiated with the food that you're eating. So that's something that you take just before your meals 2 or 3 times a day. And if you can read, you can succeed in this program, because you're basically eating about 8 or 9 servings of vegetables and small portions of fruit a day. You can eat lentils and other kinds of beans as additional protein. And you have wonderful recipes to look at if you run out of ideas on your own. You can stir fry your vegetables, steam them, roast them, blend them, make soups out of them, add lentils to that. It's not a hunger strike. Very often at the end of the day, I will look at my little list and say, oh, I have one more shake to do, and it's 9 o'clock in the evening and I'm full. And I sort of have to say, okay, I still have to do it because I want to maintain, accuracy of the program. But this is not anything that you're going to feel hungry during.
Well, I think that's important, because if people are going to starve me uncomfortable and hungry, and then we say, gee, you ought to do this 3 or 4 times a year, not likely they're going to do that if it's really painful.
Exactly. And I'll say also, even though it's a 10-day program, often people will say, well, I just can't do anything on the weekends. I've got all these plans. I say, you know what? Then do it Monday through Friday. and then do it again Monday through Friday. Nothing bad is going to happen. If your weight loss is really your major objective, maybe you won't lose as much during the 10-day, but you're still going to feel great. So I think that it's important to tell people, yes, you can adjust this, you can be adaptable.
Now, you've had people start with this 10-day cleanse program and then fold it into 30-day cycles of the Clean, Burn, Shape weight loss protocol, which uses the same products in a slightly different sequence and program. You've had people lose over 100 pounds in this program and change their lives completely.
That's right. With 30 years of experience in internal medicine, I've seen just about every diet come and go, and people have tried just about every diet. And what happens is they're motivated, they lose, but they can't sustain it. And the reason I think that people can't sustain weight loss is because they don't learn to make a lifestyle change. And this program helps them do that, and it helps them do it gradually. So when you mentioned the 30-day program, the 30-day program are basically eating the same vegetables and fruits I mentioned, but you now are adding animal protein if you wish. If you want to remain vegetarian, that's fine, but you have more flexibility in your protein sources. Every Monday is still a vegan Monday. And you're still drinking a lot of water. I have to mention the fact that all of us should be drinking about half of our body weight in water. Half of our body weight in ounces of water per day. So basically your urine should look like water. It should be fairly not concentrated. And so what people do is, if they have huge amounts of weight to lose, they do these 30-day cycles. If they hit a plateau, I tell them you need another detox. So every 2 to 3 months, if they hit a plateau in their weight loss, that's probably what's happening and stopping a lot of other diet programs, is that the toxicity catches up with us and we have to lose the toxins before we can lose the weight. For people who don't have weight to lose, have a perfect size, figure, they need a detox just to reduce the load of toxicity every 3-4 months.
Absolutely. Now, Dr. Hoyer, you could put any kind of a 10-day cleanse program or nutrition program within your practice. The Orenda philosophy of bringing the best of science into comprehensive programs that truly make a difference for people. You see that reflected in the 10-day program and the 30-day programs with Orenda?
Yes. People ask me, well, why do you like this program? And I say, well, the products are pharmaceutical grade. You look at the label, they're CGMP. What does that mean? Well, that means that it's batch tested. The ingredients are tested before the products are made, and after they're packaged in their beautiful packaging, they're tested again to make sure that everything that's on the label is actually inside the powder or the pill or the clean drink. And that is something that in an unregulated supplement industry is the only guarantee we have that what we're actually taking is actually what we're getting and what we're paying for. And if you look at a lot of the programs and products out there, they don't have that kind of manufacturing. So you always get what you pay for.
Absolutely. Well, Orenda definitely offers the very, very best in a 10-day cleanse, in our 30-day programs, and our other products. It's a passion for us to bring the very, very best to health professionals and to the lay audience alike. Dr. Hoyer, thanks so much for being with us tonight.
You're welcome. It was a pleasure.